Hi guys, welcome back to Black Coffee Builds. My name is Henry. In the last video, we started the renovation of my pantry. This is the second in a two-part series, so if you haven't seen the first one yet, you can check that out right here. In part one, we cleared out the room, patched up the walls, painted, and built floating shelves. Today in part two, we're going to tackle the lower cabinet and add some base trim. Alright guys, we're really burning daylight here, so let's get at it. Just a quick PSA for you guys. If you're anything like me, when you buy plywood, you might check for chipping and gouges on the face and edges, but I had never previously thought to check that all the plies were glued together well, but apparently that's a thing. When I got home, I quickly noticed this sheet was coming apart and had to glue a couple of the ply layers together. It all worked out, but buyer beware. I started out by ripping down a 2x4 to make a frame pretty much the same as I used for the floating shelves. The frame is going to serve as a platform for the cabinet, and right here I'm cutting the plywood that's going on top of the frame. My house is old and the concrete does let some water seep through, especially after rain. A great incentive to build some lumber storage racks. After finishing the lower part of the cabinet, I cut down the pieces that I'm going to use as the walls. This will be similar to my miter saw station build, where I use my jigsaw to cut out notches to allow room for stringers. These will give the cabinet structure and a ton of support. I used pocket screws to fasten the cabinet walls to the platform. The woodpecker square clamps made this super easy. Full disclosure, my pantry room is tiny, and when I went to install the cabinets I'd pre-assembled, I could not get them to fit in the room no matter what I did. I ended up needing to partially disassemble the cabinets and reassemble them after the platform was oriented correctly, which was a huge pain. Just food for thought if you end up doing something like this. For the top, I ended up buying a pre-made pine tabletop because it was the look I was going for and it was pretty much the perfect size. I just took a couple inches off the width and then gave the front a round over with my router. After a few coats of poly, it was looking great. I used some leftover pine I had from a different project to make the face frame. I fastened everything together with pocket screws going in the top and bottom piece of the frame. I made the face frame big enough to rest on the floor, and I just used my nail gun to attach it to the cabinet. Wood filler hid the little gouges really well. I used the same peaceful blue Bear Marquee paint for the cabinets as I did for the shelves. I left a narrow strip unpainted in the front and top of the inside cabinet, in case I end up making some sliding tambour doors. I'm going to give it some time to see if I like it the way it is before I decide to make the doors or not. After a couple coats of paint, I attached the tabletop with screws from below. After that, the cabinet is done, and I just needed to re-add base trim. I had some left over that I'd previously used in a couple bedrooms, so that's what I used. The Wixley angle gauge made sure my miters were perfect, and my crosscut sled made it easy to get them down to the correct length. After that, I just had to reinstall the entry door, and this project was finally done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video was useful for you and will prove that you don't need to be a pro to make your house look awesome. As always, links to some of the materials I use can be found down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next video right here on Black Coffee Builds.